What's going on, everybody? Have I got a super clip for you today? Right now, what we're doing is actually checking out game one of FNCS. I'm not going to be just talking too much in this one just because the announcers are pretty much doing all the talking, but I just wanted to go ahead and see what the pros do, give you guys a little background of what they do too. I know not everybody watches the FNCS, but if you can get a little bit of view time in there and see what these guys do, you can definitely learn a lot from them. I know I have already, just seeing what they do in certain situations and just how crazy these circles get. These end game circles get with however many people are alive and then however many die off pretty quickly. So it's definitely something to just take a look at sometimes. I'm not going to do every single game they throw out there, but it's nice to see game one, how things are going. And then, maybe I'll do some of the other ones as well. Just see within time what comes up, how these guys are playing, and we'll just go from there. So, if you guys like what you see, drop a like, drop a follow, let me know how things are going. And if you guys want to support the channel some more, you guys are free to come back anytime. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Straight north, otherwise you're going to be in a really tough position. But we saw that stat fly up. Rokane had the most elims of any player that is still around. Maybe a few players were able to rack up those elims. We saw Dang Clicks pick up a ton. Shadow in that first game had 7, I believe. So now we're getting into another fight here, but Bamstone and Thatch are quickly armored walled off, and that's not even going to happen anymore.
I respect that. You don't really get to see that very often. That's the first time we've been on this side of the barrel, and then all of a sudden, armor wall's like denied. You can stop that push right now. That's the strength of armored walls inside Fortnite competitive, and that's the fun part about Fortnite competitive. No two seasons are ever really gonna feel the same, depending on what Epic decides loadout-wise is coming into the round. And right there, we're seeing our first instances of how armored walls can change the pace of the game. And then look at this: you let your guard down, all of a sudden Pam gets caught off. And this is Noshing them and jumping inside the base. Thatch with the one missed edit. He's gonna get shut down there by Goober and Nosh. Not bad for them. That armored wall was almost just one big fake out.
Yeah, it gave him enough time to disengage from the fight, and then Thatch and Pamstu were starting to take shots, and these two took the opportunity. They're like, all right, you guys are distracted. I'll just take this. Free shots on them, and that's an easy fight to win when you have a huge HP advantage going into it. But we're looking on the right side. Looks like Baka already dealing with some surge issues, and he's not going to be lasting too long here, Monster.
Yep, that's Glace right there. So taken out of the game already. Now on over to, oh no, Edgy as well taken out. Another team, victim to the storm surge here. We talked about just because you have this great positioning up top, this is a very hard zone to play off of. Like, teams are just not going to reveal themselves, especially to the backside of this volcanic, the mountain here outside of the Daily Bugle. You have to be on the front side. That southern zone is probably going to be your best area to find these tags. And look at this, Tahi's trying to just survive this at this point, sit this one out. 4 players having to go down, and no one moving at the current moment
crazy.
is disastrous for someone like Tahi.
Yeah, this is a poor spot to be in, and you think it has to start with off spawn. They're all the way on the northern edge of the map, so they're going to run into less players naturally just because of the way the zones have pulled here than a lot of others, and you got to hit your shots. They obviously didn't have enough opportunities to grab Surge, and Ty's crossing his fingers, man. He's like, oh, please let this be enough, but I don't think it's going to.
Yep, here it is. At least now teams might have the need to move because the storm's already pushing them out. But again, this is looking like it's just a ticking moment at this point. The storm surge is really going to catch up. One more big zap and it's all over. Tahi unfortunately jumps out a little too late there, deciding now it's time to push in and tries to waste as much material as possible, not to give anyone a small advantage here. And there they go. Edgy and Tahi fall to the storm surge.
That was one of the issues that they had when they haven't been doing well, is the storm surge on these rotates. So likely going to need to make adjustments here after that first game. We see Joji and Rokane were able to survive that first surge, but now look at the position they're in. Really nothing in their inventory besides this one big pot, and they're just barely in this zone, likely not going to be in the 4th one, so more damage is going to be taken on these rotates.
Yeah, walking a tightrope there. One strong gust wind and those guys might go toppling over. Looking pretty rough. They have They're basically balancing themselves with the one singular big pot. It's not enough for two. So we'll see how that ends up unfolding for them. On over to the Goofy Goober and Nosh here. Much different situation. Sitting on a fresh, big refresher. Allowed them to, build this massive base, and notice they're not even digging into the chug splash just yet. Willing to go toe-to-toe. Look for exchanges here so that they can pop these minis. This is like a small strategy you'll see pro players do. They'll save that 200 cap armor, shield and HP value for the rotates, right? A little later, so a little min-maxing here coming out of the pro players. If you are wondering, like, why aren't they healing?
It's always a smart play, too. You might think that you want to get max HP, but the minis or the 150 total HP is a lot more replaceable than it is to get back to that 200, like you said, Monster. And now Muzz and Avery seem to be in a fairly good position. They're trying to hold this lone player out of this zone as they also need to make a rotate. So that guy will be trying to find them and follow their path. But ultimately, I think Muzz and Avery are going to make sure that person gets no free ride in the zone.
Yeah, that will be a pretty quick elim for them right there. And that poor shark girl is just sitting there. Or lava girl is just sitting there. It's not looking too hot. On over to Clarity G and Slacks. You can see the field really starting to open up now. This elevation at this point will start to come into play. This is the strength of having this position here. Not only that, it's very, very steep. They are on just about the border's edge here. So with this steep height position, look, teams are starting to come in, opting to use launch pads in zone 4. You don't see that very often, but that is what happens when the terrain is so demanding of players. It's going to cost you either one, a lot of material or a lot of HP.
And you see, not only are the hills or the mountains a tough climb, but it's also there's nothing in the way. Normally there's a lot of trees there. They've all been farmed out, so it's just open space these guys have to get through unless you make it into the Bugle. And now we're just going to see these teams all trying to claim a space or a building within the Bugle. Otherwise, you guys are not going to be looking too hot after this zone. If fifth pulls, I want to see if we're going out and up or we're staying right in the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good location like
Yeah,
at
this
all.
is
Up,
crazy.
to the left, to the right, down south. None of these look very appealing from this position because of how centralized it is based around the Daily Bugle at the current moment.
Anywhere outside.
It's going to go back and forth.
Yeah,
as well.
it's going to go back and
Rotating
forth like
here,
you're saying.
just trying to make the best decision.
Going to use a lot of mass to get up there, or you're going to be
at this moment here, looking for
taken
a
out. A lot of people are
going to
take out.
Joji pushing right through the box, loses Rokane in the process. He's down, not just out quite yet. Ooh, beautiful shot here. Joji showing he can take the 2v1 situation. He's not afraid of the battle. Look at that. Picks up Rokane, throws them all in that quick moment there in an instant, and all of a sudden they find some tags. They were looking for the refresher because they need a little bit more. Unfortunately, they give Okus and company a little too much time here to bounce back.
Yeah, Joji said, "Get off me." And he gave himself a second there, but not going to be enough, at least for the moment. He's going right back for the heal. I don't know that's actually going to get confirmed. We will see. It does have implications with so many other players around him, and another duo trying to get in on Joji. Joji doing his best, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They may run into another duo, but ultimately Joji's just running into other players, and down he goes. But zone's moving, Monster. We're seeing this fifth zone rotate, and it is going up on top of this mountain.
It pulled east. It pulled very far east as well. Look at this. Not a single
outside
piece
the
of
mountain.
that
Look how many
low ground
people are
is in play.
inside
This is
Daily
completely over
Bugle.
the
This
lip
is crazy.
of the face of this mountain, and you saw how many players are trying to play that outer edge there, thinking, at what point do I go up, and how much is it going to cost me? Do I follow someone's build? Do I start off the lead here? I mean, it's a tough decision to make, and just pay attention to that player count, guys. I'm expecting it to cut down pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's going to go down pretty quick. Everybody's inside.
Everyone tries to get up that mountain. You know, you got the webs naturally hanging out in the POI that might help you be able to move a little bit. But on the opposite end, we see Teo and Flash trying to get themselves out. They're buried down there, trying to get out of a bunch of builds and up into zone. Now on the other side, Nounsy and Spray, already 4 eliminations here. And they're in a really good position, especially with zone pulling in their favor.
With that, it's coming on down south as well. Still though, playing this this upper terrain, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a steep rotate regardless of what. Out comes Gold. Gold still manages to stay alive. Okay. It was looking like it was Raps for him earlier. He's barely got a slither of shield on top of his HP here, but he's holding in right now, earning himself to top 25. That's a little bit more placement, guys. Anyone who's up right now is definitely you know, it's a little sigh of relief if you made it this far and you're a solo, just kind of, it's just hanging on to the little thread here. But hold up, Nosh goes for the edit. Out comes the big builds, and oh no, the edit unfortunately could not come in, and he was just trapped up and boxed up on some move there. Big pickup and refresher for them now. This is everything you need for an endgame.
Oh yeah, it's such a clean refresh too when you take no damage and just get the entirety of the loot. They're gonna hit the pad. They have to go from one side to the other. We see people choosing to make their own bridge, but Nosh and Goofy Goober are gonna say thank you. We'll just jump on yours. Nosh does fall a little bit, but he'll crank back up, get to his teammate as the entire lobby starts to look to make these rotations. We're going into open space, then up a giant mountain.
I was going to say, honestly, arguably an even better position to have that floor lockout right there. That's going to make players have to go around them, maybe even open up some elim opportunities for them. Avery, though, has to be careful. As the lobby gets later and later here, it does become more and more difficult to stick those builds. Got to be a bit more patient, but he knows that better than anyone as the vet that he is. Muzz and Avery now, kings of the high ground here. They're sitting very high up. Not a lot of strong material. Really, the foundation held on by wood, so not too much to work with there. Clarity G on the other side looking for their first big set of eliminations here. They do and will need a refresher here shortly as they're starting to run out of material.
And the zone's going down, so this is favorable for a high ground because it's going into wide open space. If you have the material, if you have the ammo, it's going to be a great position. But oh no, look what's going on. Sprite and Nounsy are going for it. And it looks like Avery and Muzz aren't even going to be able to contest that. That high ground is now given up.
Yeah, very easy high ground take. We knew it was going to be pretty simple because they were running out of material. And now you're watching it all unfold here for Nounsy and Sprite. This is the perfect spot to be in. A victory royale is all they have been fighting for these last couple days here.
Start to go down quick.
A bit of a struggle, an uphill battle for them, but this is what happens when they can make it to the end game here. And it's still a long game in front of them for Clarity G, though. He gets shut down here, and it's not looking like it's Slacks and Clarity's round to walk away with just yet. But hey, 3 eliminations is nothing to overlook at as they now sneak into the lair. Oh no, he reveals himself. Back into the zone he goes. It's the best play he could have done for the situation here. And he finds someone in the storm. Stolen on that one. Oh no. And then just clapped out inside the box here, but it's Nounsy and Sprite who are controlling the height.
He just ran a circle around those guys, and now we see Nosh, who's picked up a number of elims, trying to navigate through. He's running very low on build, so he has to get back to Goofy Goober. He goes down, and it's going to be the end of Nosh without a crazy play, and he goes. Now it's up to Goofy Goober. What can he do? 5 builds in a dream.
Man, we just keep seeing Beef and Nick play this outskirt here, being the kings of the low ground and playing the Lake Storm, and it's just catching players off guard round after round here. But hold up, someone slips inside the box. Who is this? It's the last place curse who gets shut down there, and just like that, also wrapped up and out of the competition. This is now basically served up on a plate here for Sprite and Nounsy, and they're coming down to feast here. It's time to go ahead and wrap up these eliminations, get this victory royale here.
8
Beef is
people
going
left.
for it.
This
He's
is
putting
crazy.
everything on the table, looking at, focus in and pull his best Peter Bot impression, but it's
Not
not
too
going to
many
be good
mats,
enough as he gets put down into the low ground here. And the reset, just better for Nounsy and Sprite now.
Yeah, all those materials and refreshers were able to get them to that point, but quickly turned away. And now it is up to a final 2v2v2. Rarely do we see this. Beef and Nick trying to get into any position to make a play. Down he goes. Nick's got no hope. And it's a final 2v2.
Great little flick there, though. So now it's a 2v1 situation. Sprite may have jumped the gun just a little bit here, and Nounsy has to clutch up. This is one of the most difficult tasks you can ask for from anyone. No build. That's one. Finds a
just take
my
them
gosh.
out.
We have back-to-back big club performances, and now Nounsy crowns himself all the way through to the finals.
7 eliminations. Absolutely clutching up. Sprite went down to go and try and claim it, but Nounsy holds still. He's like, all right, I got you, bro. I'm gonna take this, and then just wins that aim duel at the end. Welcome. You've made it to the finals. That was a crazy last play right there.
He says, SBG, hold my mini shields. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here and show you guys what time it is. I want to clutch. I want a big play too. And he goes out, finds it, secures that victory out. Nounsy and Sprite here. We'll be seeing you in the finals. That was
Man, that's pretty cool, guys. That was definitely something that take a lot of notes from. Definitely take a lot of notes from.